Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, the one and only Master Propaganda Hero, like defender of the fatherland, offer to a 2v2 on Eindhoven, actually, it's Eindhoven. Operation Eindhoven. North it is Quincy and Tac.Ir relevant here with double Brits. Forming up here with the 1st Armored Division tasked with launching a night assault against German positions. The south it is Noob and Aries with double DAK. Wow, this combo again. Here with Armoured Support here right off the bat. Heavy armor there for Tac.Ir relevant. But we got Panzerjaeger and bikes on the way for the Germans. Forming up here the 16th Panzerjaeger and CanadianShock for Quincy, leaving just Noob to make a pick. As always, big hearty thanks to my patron supporters for the continued generous and absolutely wonderful support of the Propagandacast. Helps making all these videos possible. And a big thanks to keep commenting and liking on the videos. Does a lot there to keep the YouTube algorithms flowing in my favour. So, double dingoes, a lot of sappers versus, Panzerjaegers and Bisons and Panzerjaeger. German bike forces rushing up the centre here, looking to secure this as fast as possible, perhaps swing to the sides. Allied forces more going towards the edges of the map here. Dingo's probably waiting to spot some bikes and deal with them, hoping they'd be like elsewhere on the map faster. But if they focus on the centre and the dingoes aren't expecting them, obviously they're not going to find them. But now it's about to change. I think it's tactically relevant. Tactically relevantly finds the bike here, catches a bit of a bad spot. Could have pushed it a bit further here to think you're going to make it hard for it to easily escape here. Bit slow response, I think, by tactically relevant, but may not be an issue at all. Vickers on the way for Tac.Ir relevant. West side here we got Punch being around it. Right keeping spotted by the other dingo. Sections for Quincy. More Panzerjaegers out of both DAK players, committing more gloriously German infantry. Panzerjaegers poking back to the east here, holding up behind the wall, ready to meet the Allies in combat. Sappers poking in there with the Sten guns. Suddenly we find Noob's positions here a bit crumbling here, as his units weren't quite in a good situation there overall in terms of concentration. Bikes are already heavily damaged, the Brits are concentrated. Thankfully for Noob, Quincy doesn't seem quite pushing his advantage here tactically as much as he could, which indicates he perhaps isn't quite feeling as confident about the entire engagement here, not absolutely lacking some information. There you go. Panzers rushing in, engaging those British forces there. East side here. Got Ding being pushed back, and further east we've got the sappers, the Panzerjaeger. Sandbags on the way there for the Allies. Panzer pushing forwards. Come on, Jürgen! Get those legs moving! So it won't be moving soon again if the Brits hit you. Got section 8 Dingo being fixed up here close to the front line. Risky repairs. See east side. Bike almost knocked up. Panzerjaeger trying the best. And a Dingo actually got knocked out by the Germans. Good push here by Aries. Knocking out that British light vehicle. We did it, Fitz! We took out a light reconnaissance vehicle! Soon there will be medals for everyone, except for Fitz over there. Ambulance on the way for Aries. Another Vickers for Tac.Ir relevant for 2 command posts for him. Light support company for Noob. At the centre for the sappers, east side falling to German influence. As Aries quickly pushes forwards. Kind of half anticipating that both DAK or Brit players will end up going for some, version of the Churchill tanks. Quincy, of course, could go for the demolition sappers, but at the same time, I feel like the crocodile just kind of makes sense there. Although some players aren't going for things, but we'll see. Germans managed to keep the bikes along for this long is quite impressive, all things considered. Pushing him at the punch, going for that dingo there, home to get it wiped out. We got anti-tank rifles here for Quincy's infantry section. The good old boys anti-tank rifle, which really wasn't that good. Even worse version was actually the one for the airborne troops, as that was actually cut down to make it more portable, but by cutting it down, they also effectively just limited its range and penetration to basically making it pretty useless. So it was not very popular with the British airborne units and commander units who had to make do with it. And they would typically replace it with something else very quickly. There's a little fun fact about that one. West side here, Panzer being back with Panzers both sort of getting a bit worn down. Amber armoured car for both Quincy and Tac.Ir relevant. bit bold versus double deck, as they could both call in Panzerjaeger groups, but
The enemy is
of course have to see
from our sector.
what they are up to. Yeah, Aerospace of course losing his spike does mean he's a bit shorter than units for now. I think he is. Yeah, he's going for veteran squad leaders, which is a bit interesting because he's only got like 2 squads of Panzers and Panzer Pioneers, so at least in terms of what he's got plus his battle group, Ares is not going to be like massively benefiting from it. I mean, it's still a good upgrade, don't get me wrong, but you could, like, I think, consider getting out some more infantry first before going for that upgrade.
Belongs to the enemy.
That is something fun. Nemo there, double Humbers striking the German lines. Panzerjaeger Vanguard here being hammered by the British armoured cars. They come swinging in there. Definitely posing a problem there for the DAK players. It's probably the only one can really call in like an immediate response to the Humbers. And even then, one half of Panzerjaegers will struggle against that. He's going for the flank-filling half-track.
Anti-tank crews
6 pounder guns out for Tac.Ir relevant. Quincy with a field infirmary. And we can see the Allies are really starting to like claim here to the map now against the Germans, posing some problems. Healing reinforcement. Quiet. West side here we got punching against the sappers. We got an MG34 on both players. Panzer Grenadiers there. The good old MG34. 458 was 442. Panzer Grenadiers advancing. Another Humber here out of Tac.Ir relevant. Very bold for sure. We do get some Panzers that for Ares finally. Thumbs up. So the situation for the German army nonetheless remains a bit messy at the moment there, with strong Allied control of most of the vital points here, but large light vehicles and a variety of other fun stuff. So they're just going to push them from there. Go flag from the half rush in there, shredding the Dingo as fast as humanly possible. Section in, not equipped with anti-tank grenades. Got the Dingo, Saps in trouble, but Panzer move forward here. Big push here by Nuke. Left side there being crumbled, but British response is quickly forming up. All the Humber armored cars into a quick smaller squadron, but there we go. Here's ready for this as well. They're playing with the Panzerjaegers in the half track. Will it be enough to tackle all these Humbers in particular, with Quincy supporting them with some boys anti-tank rifles, making it difficult for the Germans to use their light vehicles against the Allied light vehicles. So that's definitely a bit of heck. There we go though. Noop's got his own Panzerjaegers on the way as well there. Noting he's still yet to pick a battle group at this point. It does feel like it's going to end up being something like Panzerjaeger or maybe Battlefield Espionage. I mean, he could surprise us with Italian infantry. Absolutely very possible, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Now we got Ares as well with his own flag-filling half-track. Very much expected as well. Those DAK players do like to go for it. This nice mobile platform with a lot of firepower and a fair amount of flexibility. Another 6 pounder gun here for Tac.Ir relevant. Up to that. Our east here, British force repositioning a bit, but the east side's kind of been forgotten here by all the players involved for the most part. Germans being saluted at victory points, and there you go. Wasn't out of focus as a the Humbers, but 250 knocked out with a full-on volley here. Trying to push in here for the Humber armoured cars. Panzer still got 6 pounder gun on the flank here. And the Humbers can also shred those 250 half-tracks. They're not careful, so yeah. An attempt to take out the Humbers is just not quite working out due to the sheer density of the armoured cars here. And the Panzerjaegers just can't damage them fast enough, so it may end up just being a waste of resource here for something that can be quickly fixed up by the sappers. And we got Canadians out there for Quincy, thumbs up. And a Ford repair station up there for the Brits. Further making this a bit awkward there for the Germans with attempts to take out the Humbers. We don't even need to pay attention to get this fixed. It's even like less of a tax in that sense on the Allies, so not ideal there. Again, in fact, when they lost a 250 half-track in the process of not 2. That really ended up being a bad attempt here by the Germans. I think Stuart start because they're like trying to set up something east side, just gain a bit more control there and sort of like around here. Panzer Grenadiers being pushed beyond their very breaking point and then forced back. 6 bounty guns on the way for Quincy as well. There's a point to mark the cannons are further exposed than that in the open. Smoke deploy as well, just to make sure the Germans can't be supported from here. Savvy thinking there, like tactically irrelevant. Taps still get caught besides the smoke. Trying to mine for the smoke is actually a pretty cheeky idea there by Noob. I like it. Utilizing their own opponent's own smoke against them. Can't imagine it being easy. You're going to dig faster, sure, but I can't see if I'm digging. And I think this isn't an anti-tank mine. I think it might be Fritz's lunchbox. Panzer Pioneer, they're almost getting wiped out. They got Pack 38 to have to deal with the advanced allies. But they're knocked over the mine. Turns up the real Panzerjaeger they're selected for Noob. That's actually a shoots meaner, but you get the point. Second Humber down. Suddenly things going a bit smoother here for the German army. Third Humber down. Good golly. That pack crew is on an absolute bender here against armoured cars. But there you go. Quick counterattack here from Quincy. Feels like he might have overcommitted a bit here to the tank rifles, but at the same time, it's only going to force the flak filling have to be careful. Tactical rolling preparing for bishops. Quincy, who knows? These Canadians have yet to be upgraded. Will he go for piety on them, or will he go for the light mortar? Question there. There you go. Saxons, bunch of press, push back. East side, German contact after the Allies snuck up quite a few upon there.
Bishop SPGs are ready
More
for
sappers,
construction.
and we got Quincy with the company command post. Not dilly-dallying here, moving straight with the tech tree. Ares also taking up there. As for Noob, he has also moved, in fact, here, already has the Panzerjaeger command up, being in fact somewhat ahead of the curve. Now, thumbs up. Bishop still around there, fort tactics relevant.
Losing a victory point to enemy
We
action.
got crew shock tactics there for Noob. We got the Makers there trying to hold up the German advance, but realizing it's being outmaneuvered. Tactically irrelevant. Orders it to withdraw in a most tactically relevant manner.
So then, nice bit of kit. What are we burning?
Both German players, they will soon be able to push out tanks. Quincy as well. Tactically relevant, obviously going to be pushing artillery,
Our opponent is in control of all
which could certainly
victory
force
points.
some constraints upon the Germans and the movements and how they fight. So that's definitely something that we need to see how they respond to that, if they actually respond at all. Some players definitely just like to pretend artillery doesn't exist, even if they hit. Then we've got Panzerjaeger, Humber sneaking
Royal
in.
Engineers trained and ready to go.
Regal spotting dealt with. Still, thumbs up there for Chinook. Thanks for laying down the Regal mines. I do feel like they're a bit overlooked. They are, I think, quite personal. Back being there, narrowly surviving the encounter with the 6 bounty gun close call here. Canadians being upgraded to the far raining down death. And east side, German infantry poking about their flak filling, move towards the west again. Could try and like sneak up the flank here, like fire some pressure and angle. The Allies aren't perhaps quite anticipating as much. Could give the Germans a bit more room to operate with. Raiding it and withdrawal there, ready for Tac.Ir as well. As for Quincy, I imagine he's going to go for that Churchill Crocodile. You never know with some players, so we'll have to see what he's picking if he picks it. But my instinct is going to go for Crocodile at this point with the way things are going. Big German push here by Noob, swinging through here, overwhelming Quincy, who's definitely committed more versus light vehicles than he has versus German infantry. Definitely proven to be quite fortuitous for Noob.
We are losing territory.
Allies forcing moving the block here, we got 293. Another bishop here for tactical relevant. Another bit of self-propelled artillery. Anti-tank section holding up here. Trying to the centre, but we got a lot of British forces there waiting in hiding.
We've lost a sector.
Itching to start blasting some Germans. Black didn't have anything hammered. 6 point shoots at the other one, misses. And there you go. Good old shooting out of there, messing things up there. East side here, sappers versus Panzer Grenadiers. The stone guns, no match against the Malady MD-34. West here, flak feeling, about to get knocked out. He was not careful. Close. Save there by Noob. Thumbs up.
Victory point is in enemy hands.
178 versus 1559. Wee bit of trouble getting fucked up with double flak feeling half tracks. Tac.Ir watches as his crew desperately gets away there, but they do get away. East side here, fighting continues. Sappers still out of cover. Are not exactly in a winning condition against a good old MG-34, which could fire about 900 rounds per minute. Plus minus a few hundred rounds. Stuckers a fuss on the way fairlies, no Panzers then. As for Noob, no Panzers either. Could he be planning armoured reserves, perhaps? Sign of that at least. Also worth noting, he has provided veteran squad leaders for his Panzerjaeger. Which is definitely one of the Germans' favourite ways of, like, just, you know, making sure less veteran troop police perform well, just rifles and veterans, like, you know, help boost things around. Typically, it was less used, you know, in Panzerjaeger formations, less of the, like, really low quality of desperate patched together, and more like, you know, just more raw units. So, bit of a note there. See, artillery here on the way for Quincy. Being overwhelmed perhaps by the sappers, perhaps not. And just two men, it's Jürgen and Ludwig. They are both getting it. Double airships there, just unleashing hell upon that flak feeling half track. Tac.Ir enough of that flak feeling half track, so they wish to make intent. West here, Panzer with the sappers, got the incendiary builders there. You got Canadians on the flank, and that's definitely proven to be too much here. Moves infantry. Doesn't matter how veteran their school leaders are, when they just absolutely outgunned. Stuckers of us for Noob as well. Both DAK players coming to rocket artillery. Not a single Panzer in sight. I mean, that can definitely work out, though. But at least like some tanks. Quincy with the foot guards.
RAF available to loiter the target with artillery ready to barrage on sight.
And of course, you got the Matilda 2 arc here on the field. Stuckers was out, and certainly with the Matilda about to hit them, the Stuckers of us could end up feeling a bit like a question of, like, you know, build team when they committed each one of their own. As then there's, like, base of the Panzerjaeger, some anti-tank rifles on the Pak-38, they just, like, really try and stop the Matilda 2, and that's between both of the players. Particular Noob, with only one Panzerjaeger, is definitely going to have a very tough time with the Matilda 2 infantry tank. So this really is going to, like, you know, be a significant and comfortable development for the German army. There you go, Matilda 2 strikes. Of course, right after Noob has gone, the Stuckers was up. Could go for the Panzer 3 soon, but even the Panzer 3 might struggle a bit there. Tank rifle. The enemy have taken our territory. Doing some light damage to the 2. Certainly nothing that's really going to, like, you know, win wars. And Ares here actually is committing to another Stuckers of Fussy despite everything. I mean, to an extent, the way that maps can be played on the bottlenecks, you know, certainly encourages passive play. So obviously more rocket shoots it does make sense that we'll just have to get to it again.
Our repair assembly is taking hits.
Auto repair assembly takes hits. Bishop got hit by the rockets, released the shockwave of it. More rocket artillery here. Fortunate for the Germans, neither barrage has really managed to achieve much against their opponents. There's only always one of those risks about the first, depending on the situation, you can end up whiffing, and then, you know, you've got a big old cooldown to wait on. Which is also why I think, you know, Ares going for double Stuckers he was particularly risky. So we'll have to see of course what happens, but for now, Axis are definitely knee deep in rockets. 208 to 267. Still being met by the Pak-38. Mixing up north in trouble here. This is about to get wiped out. Is that the loiter or yeah, it's the recon artillery ability there? That just leaves him basically either with a Churchill tank or the Churchill Crocodile. More ships with rockets, going for those bishops again, and any units nearby. Certainly also worth pointing out here, but if your opponent has a lot of artillery, particularly ones for massive rocket artillery strikes, you definitely don't want like the positioning all like big priority support weapon targets too close to each other, as that means your opponent, even like they're just only firing on one, doesn't know about the other one. They're more likely to get some good money, or value for money out of it. Not in this case to do too much damage, but if it had, that would be huge for the Germans and quite painful for the Allies. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind here. Meanwhile, a few plucky Brits making off with the German anti-tank gun. Come on, Gavin! Haul it! Don't have all day. Sanders 262. The map control that continues to swing back and forth. And there you go. Ares with armored reserves. Neutral happens to be setting up with, and Tac.Ir also going for the company command post, finally taking out here. He's out here. Panzerjaegers and the sappers. Hunters in the fire there, the guns ablaze. And we got the company command post on the way there, halfway down for Tac.Ir armor reserves on the done areas as well. The Nuke still hasn't got bothered with anything there. Hands of thieves, we'll have to see. And there goes that unit. MD-34 left behind in the grassy fields there. A few hits on the bishops there. And what is this, ladies and gentlemen? It's an elephant tank destroyer. Really haven't seen those in a while. I'll say for good reason, but here we are. Noob has in fact commanded the elephant, based off the Porsche tank Porsche Tiger by Ferdinand Porsche, which did not win, partly due to being really complicated to make, amongst other things. It's a sort of like, he actually had made a bunch of them, and sort of like, as a band-aid, he was allowed to, like, could have had a bunch of noted tank destroyers in the form of the elephant. So, there's a fun fact. Apparently they might have had some reasonable performance with something like the Battle of Kursk and elsewhere. 155, 162 punch reports against the Canadians there for the MD-34. The incendiary Gammon bomb. Up on the Allies. Take out these bishops. One bishop down, both bishops down. German artillery finally did it. We do have an artillery order here forcing the German Stukas of first infantry to scatter. We were not paying attention to troops right into the kill zone. Wait, why is everyone else running into the other way? Oh, God, Team Hero! Nope, catches on there, but unfortunately a bit too late for some of the Panzer period. Should definitely be careful of the elephant on its own like this. If it gets flanked, it's definitely stuffed.
Victory point belongs
and there was
to
like
the enemy.
one detachment of elephant tanks, was this was the 653rd Schwerer Panzerabteilung. Yeah, Panzerjaeger Abteilung, not Panzerabteilung. Which would later be equipped with the Jagdtiger. Which they've done Italy. Well, there's a little fun fact there as well.
We are losing a victory point to enemy action.
150 to 154. This is the Panzerjaeger still covering the center, and Crusaders there for tactical relevant.
Point is being overrun.
Looking forward to the elephant.
Guards on standby.
No, actually, the early model known as the Ferdinand, which is like the whole machine gun has more issues. Trying to deal with the foot guards, but lacking anything so if we deal with them, it's
a sector is in enemy control.
Maneuvers Assault Grenadiers here.
The enemy has pushed us back from our sector.
Ares might be trying to go for the Tiger tank, but with this current resource situation, it's going to take a while to get here. Probably should get the assault units close to the anti-tank section rather than fighting at mid-range, which is not exactly where I think the MP4s will do the most proper work.
Commander, we have artillery on standby.
E7 getting the artillery running forwards here for Quincy.
We're losing a victory point. Victory point
136 got down, but that's about it. German infantry is on area side, slowly let out here. Germans still maintain a victory point lead. They also have a casualty lead, but the difference in force size, I kind of feel that's going to be not quite as long. And he actually calls in the flamethrower tank there despite having armor reserves, which to me at least then feels like, you know, that plan has very much been scuppered and abandoned. Stukas was got here, but Matilda, that's not ideal at all there for Ares either. Nope with a Panzer Green. Certainly I do wonder why I didn't also go for a Panzer Green. Obviously there's injury really all bad, but the Allies commit toward tanks, which they slowly seem to be doing. Oh, there we go. Taking a hit from the Elephant. Almost knocked out. 250 half-deck knocked out.
With haste. The enemy has only 250 points left. Commander, we have a stockpile of command points available.
Enough. Good guards here being incinerated by the Flam Panzer 3.
They are threatening a capture point.
There will be the machine crew supporting them, and the sappers nearby. So watching as the machine crew over is just getting incinerated.
The victory point is being overrun.
Lawrence, are you watching that? Oh God, too late! So hot.
The enemy has our victory points now.
Watching the foot guards in sections. Shade on the way there for tactically irrelevant. There you go, and pushing forwards. Stukas was down. Not entirely sure that was doing well at the front line, maybe mistaking by Ares, who he's just been stressed out. Too much going on, who knows, but that definitely not. There you go. One section down, foot guards here out of Quincy are in trouble as well here. Might see them wiped here by nukes. And here. His glorious command.
We're losing a victory point.
Put guards down. Southside, the Matilda applying pressure. Pack 38, they're white. Panzerjaeger's being slammed. Panzer Pioneer routed. 17 into a bit of a mess here for the Germans with increasingly aggressive pacing here. Panzer 3 down. Nuke and Ares casualties are mounting.
Enemy is down to
at
200
a
points.
worryingly aggressive pace here. And the Elephant, you might notice, isn't doing much. Into the machine gun nest, probably not going for the crocodile. What with the Elephant field? Stukas of machine veterans here too.
Awaiting orders.
Stukas was in trouble, and down he goes, down he goes. Got a Crusader. Finally knocked out a tank. Great shot there. Got veterans who won actually. Got the same Crusader. Wow. Elephant doing something, but mine got set off there. Was that a Regal mine? That'd be sad if it was. No. It wasn't mine, it was something else. All the way engine damage. Unleashing hell here. Crocodile up for Quincy, did go for it after all. Clearly not intimidated by the Elephant heavy tank destroyer after all. And I tell you, Lordy, here, going to make this a much more painful task here for Nuke to try and achieve here. Allies just applying that pressure to keep up the attacks, squeezing the Germans for everything they got here. Of course, he could go for some kind of like big tank, so far does not seem particularly interested by that. Playing for a tank to rescue here. And the foot guards getting roasted. 135, 125 here. Artillery rolling in.
Sector overrun. The enemy has it.
Elephant shooting. Not doing a lot of damage to that one. We got the sappers there, just messing with it. Like, the damage is nothing, but it slows down, making it easy for the artillery to actually hit it. So, kind of cheeky and nasty combo here by Quincy. I mean, thumbs up to that.
Area's on the back foot now. 100 points
There's the
left.
sun coming in, screaming for food. Once we get it, and there you go. Another Panzer kaput. Ares forces are actually crashed at this point, and Noob Day is hobbling along, but he's barely in the fight as well there. Elephant is holding on here for dear life.
The enemy has
Not doing these
75
varies.
points
Big German push here, stupid was raining down. Death from above here.
left. Crusader cruiser
Got a 6-man crew here. We got 135, 62. Crocodile are incinerating. One of the few remaining crews of the German army in this sector.
Smashing work. The
Just
enemy's
135.
down to only 50 points.
135 is 44, 41, and there you go. GG, game over. Stinging blow there to the German army. Brutal stuff there. Some issues, I think, with the execution of the strategy. At times, a bit, you know, they could have flanked more, tried to maneuver more, tried to like get their opponents a bit off guard. And the elephant tanks were obviously just, I think, wasn't a good investment. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. This is Imperial Team. Cheers. Until you all tomorrow for another exciting episode, as we of course get ever closer to the upcoming patch. Just a quick reminder, the first episode of the new patch will be going the day after the patch. Actually, not quite after that. The day after that, like, you know, 2 days after, basically, since I still need to find some time to, like, you know, get something found and casted. So, bit of a heads up there. But cheers everyone, and see you all tomorrow.